In the end, what this all comes down to is the fact that from a historical point of view and from the present day level, my body is used to being abused and mistreated, discarded, and disrespected, then expected to rise and move on like nothing happened. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite pirate captain. It's your favorite goddess king. It's your favorite auntie uncle. It's your favorite hood healer, high priestess, motivational dominatrix, LadySpeech in the place to be. And I want to welcome you back to my channel. You could be anywhere in the world. You are somewhere in the world. And you're also sharing a little bit of time and space with me. That's valuable currency. So thank you for that. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling any of this, if you're feeling any of me, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notifications bell so you can keep up with everything I'm putting down over here. Shenanigans and randomness, darling. Shenanigans and randomness. Now, we've already started this video hot. We coming in hot. Let's just take a deeper dive, shall we? Are you ready to take a ride with me? Get in, winners. Get in. We're about to unpack my ableism. Internalized ableism. Alright, y'all, this here video is inspired by a status that I put up on my LadySpeech public figure page on Facebook, and I do believe I shared it on my community tab over here on YouTube. But this is something that got a really intensive response, and it prompted me to do a lot more sharing of this subject, and in hopes that it encourages other people to just take an internal look at themselves. Okay, so as you can see from the beginning, as you can see from the title, we're unpacking my internalized ableism. So before we begin, let's start with some basics and some foundation. What is ableism? So, taking this directly from the dictionary, from the Oxford Dictionary, ableism is a noun. It is defined as discrimination in favor of able-bodied people. Okay, I come from the philosophy, I come from the belief that ableism is a key component in white supremacy. It is a key component in capitalism. It is foundational in both of those systems of things. Okay, everybody's ableist. Everybody's ableist. Everybody's ableist because we're all taught to be, even people who are disabled. Now, fun fact about LadySpeech, I am part of the disabled community. My disabilities aren't all of the way, or should I say, there goes my internalized ableism. There goes my internalized ableism. As before this video, I would have always said my disability is all related to mental disability. However, this is also about physical disability as well, and me unpacking that. All right, you see how it just shows up? You see how it just shows up? This is why it's important for us to unpack these things. This is why it's important to unpack these things so that we can be better for ourselves and for each other, okay? So, where did this even get started? This came up for me last week. If you have been a follower on this page, you know that I have been embarking on a gym journey. It has been on my brain, on my heart, in my inspiration to just lead a more active life, okay? I have had some, I moved this last year, and within moving, there's a lot of things that came up with my body, okay? And one of the things that I wanted to do to address some of these things that were coming up with my body is start moving again. I know that the last couple of years my movement has declined, okay, and that is for a lot of reasons, but I just simply don't move as much as I used to. When I was younger, I did a lot more dancing, I did a lot more walking around. I was just way more active, okay? This last 5 years, actually this last like 7 to 5 years, I just have slowly backed off of that active lifestyle for whatever reasons, okay? So last year I decided to, well, actually this started the year before that. But I started taking it a lot more seriously last year. I was in the gym the year before last year, but I was just kind of getting acclimated to going to the gym again. I wasn't being serious about it. I was just forming the habit. You know, I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself. But last year, I started taking it a lot more seriously, and I had some fitness goals that I wanted to address, okay? So I begun to address those fitness goals, and I've been in the gym a lot more regularly, and it's been great. I've been engaging in strength training, which has been wonderful. I used to strength train back in the day, in my late 20s, early 30s. It has been really cool to return to it. I've been feeling strong. I've been feeling good. Recently, in the last couple of weeks to like, this has been the last like 2 months, I have discovered within me, I've been inspired to train for powerlifting. So I'm on that journey. I'm on the journey of strength training and training to powerlift. I don't plan on competing in powerlifting. I just want to powerlift. It just really appeals to me. And I love the idea of being stronger. One of the main reasons why I'm back in the gym is to get stronger, okay? So, with all that being said, I've been in the gym. I've been doing my thing. I've been meeting my goals. I've been just focused on moving more. I've been focused on gaining my mobility back, and I've done that. One of the things that was really ailing me last year when I moved, I started having a problem with my knees. And I had not before had problems with my knees like this. And I kind of anticipated this issue with my knees because the year before, there's a way that I was sitting. I sat in a real messed up position for like a year and a half. And I knew this wasn't a good position, but it just was what I was comfortable with. And that position really caused my knees to just get worse. So as soon as I moved, my knees they went to shit, honestly. And my mobility began to be really restricted, okay, from my knees and just other things that were going on. Wasn't feeling good. So one of the things I wanted to address was my knee issues, okay? And I began to address that. I used exercise and other things to address those knee issues, and throughout last year, my knee issues got really, really good, okay? It wasn't until last week where I woke up for the 4th time in a row and I wasn't in pain. And I sat there for a second and this thought came to me so crystal clear. I woke up on that 4th day and I was like, I just feel so good. I'm not in pain. And the last 3 days I had done that. Oh my God, I feel so good. I'm just feeling so good. My body feels so, so good. It just feels so good. Yes. 4th day, I was like, yes, my body feels so good. And I sat for a second. I was going through my gratitude list in my head. I was saying my gratitude list, saying my thank yous, doing my prayers. And then this thought came so crystal clear. It said, Speech, this is the first time in about 7 to 8 years that you have not woken up in pain for more than 24 hours. And that stopped me dead in my tracks. I proceeded to sit for the next hour and really go down the rabbit hole in my head. I started thinking about my pain. And I started thinking about how much in pain I have been for the last 7 to 8 years. And I started thinking about the fact that I have been in denial of that pain for the last 7 to 8 years. And that denying of my pain comes from my ableism. Let's break it down. So let me be clear. I still deal with pain during the day. I still deal with the level of pain in my body during the day. And even saying that is a lot. Lord, admitting that is a lot. Admitting that I deal with pain in my body every single day, and I have been for the last 7 to 8 years, that's a lot. So I'm still dealing with pain. I'm not waking up in pain. I'm not waking up in pain. Strength training has definitely addressed a lot of this and is addressing a lot of this. because I can feel myself getting stronger, because I am literally focused on strength training. My muscles are redeveloping, my muscles are reforming, and that is taking a lot of strain off of joints. That's taking a lot of strain off of just my body. You know what I'm saying? My muscles are handling more. My body is just firing off a lot more efficiently. There were some muscles that were being overstrained and overworked because there were muscles that just weren't being used because I wasn't using my body. And so because of that, a lot of the pain issues are being, you know, addressed. My body is a lot looser, it's a lot more flexible, it's a lot juicier. So my body, because of the strength training and the things that I'm doing around my strength training, a lot of that pain is being addressed. And I am thankful. I am so thankful. I am so thankful. I am so thankful. I am so thankful. Let's talk about the historical piece that is a part of that, you know, uplifts or feeds the ableism, okay? Historically, in recent history, in recent Black and recent world history, when we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, Black bodies were literally stolen, were taken, were sold into bondage, okay? For labor. For labor. Be it labor in the house, be it labor in the field, it was for labor, okay? From cotton to sugar, labor. It was all about labor. In recent history, if you were a Black body and we were operating under that system, if you were any type of disabled, if you were not able to do the work, if they could not find any use for you, if you couldn't be used, if you couldn't be exploited sexually, if you couldn't be exploited for your manual labor, if you couldn't be exploited for your intellect, if you couldn't be exploited, then you were discarded, you were unalived, you were killed, you were brutalized, you were tortured, you were experimented on. I've spoken a lot in a few videos about the power of ancestral memory, about how we carry ancestral memory in our blood, in our bones, in our DNA. Science has recently caught up to this in the last 15 to 20 years. They've recently caught up to the fact that we store trauma from generations past in our blood, and it lasts generations forward. In my body, I have the DNA of folks who were enslaved, who were given the direct message that unless you were able-bodied, you were worthless. There was no worth in you unless you could be exploited or used. This in itself is powerful. In our recent history, we were taught that life was going to be hard for you anyway because you're Black. But it would be much harder for you if you weren't able-bodied. You have less of a chance of living. You have less of a chance of thriving. You have less of a chance of surviving if something is wrong with you. So historically, Black folks learned to hide the disabilities of ourselves, of our loved ones. We learn to walk it off. We learn to not admit when you are in pain. We learn to hide it. Because if you aren't worth exploiting, they'll end you. If you weren't worth exploiting, they'll end you. Fast forward to now, modern day life. I'm a survivor of mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual abuse, extreme in all of those cases. The physical abuse that I survived was unreal. Being stripped naked and being beat with oak boards, being beat with wooden boards, being strung up, tied up, stripped naked, tied by my hands, my feet bound, and being beaten until my body was black and blue, until my face looked like ground meat. Having braces and being repeatedly punched and slapped and smacked in the face and head slammed into walls so that my braces would tear up and lacerate my mouth so I couldn't eat or drink or swallow or hold my mouth in comfortability. Extreme abuse, being hogtied. Literally, like the rodeo. Like your hog tie, like cowboys hog tie hogs. Being hogtied and beaten. Being beaten and then having a hot bath drawn for you. And being made to get in that bath, that hot bath with fresh welts. And then being made to scrub your body. I have a history of extreme abuse. And something that was always expected of me after those beatings was to act like nothing happened the next day. Sometimes my father would feel guilty. Me limping or seeing my ground beef face would trigger something inside of him that let him know that what you were doing was wrong. A tinge of guilt would come up in him, and then he would make me pay for that. He would make me pay for the guilt that he felt because he abused me by hurting me some more. So I learned to be quiet. I learned to only express my pain when I was alone. I learned that pain signaled weakness. That it didn't mean weakness, but it signaled weakness. I learned that it's better to take the beatings and to be quiet, because you can minimize more violence coming to you that way. When I say from a historical and present day perspective, my body is used to being disrespected. It is used to being abused. It is used to being exploited. It is used to being used. It is used to being desecrated and then made to rise the next day as if nothing happened. I mean it. I mean it. You know, y'all don't want to talk about critical race theory in schools because we'd have to talk about this. We'd have to talk about how deeply black bodies were abused and how that still affects us to this day. We have to talk about the fact that that never stopped, that we are still being abused. Every week there is a new headline of a black body, a black male, a black female, a black non-binary person, a black gender fluid person being abused unalive, police brutality. But this is the reason why we have to talk about these things. And this is the intersection of ableism. So much of these things are rooted in the disrespect and the desecration of black and indigenous people, bodies, lands, cultures. My ableism is rooted in the fact that on my own and in this lifetime, I was literally given the message that your broken body is not worthy of healing. I was given that message historically. So is it surprising that I can go 8 years and not even conceptualize the fact that I'm living in pain, debilitating pain? See, this is a journey unpacking this. I've admitted that I wasn't admitting to how much pain I was living in, but every day since I've admitted that, admitting how deep the pain is a journey for me. Admitting, allowing myself to really be like, no, you've been carrying the weight of so much on your shoulders, because that pain, it's a lot from my feet to my ankles. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so much of this pain is also rooted in former injuries. So much of this pain is rooted in injuries from being sexually exploited, from being beaten by my father, from being violated. A lot of the injuries that I have sustained that I'm feeling right now are from those things. It's not surprising that ableism has such a chokehold on everybody, but it's especially not surprising that it has such a chokehold on Black and Indigenous people. Admitting that you were disabled could cost you your life back in the day, and it still could. It still could. Ableism puts the lives of its disabled people in danger. Look at what happened with COVID. Look at how this society so quickly told us that the lives of disabled people were expendable. And the more severe your disability, the more they were going to leave you to die. They literally did it. They've been doing it. This society directly preaches to us that disabled people don't have a place here. That unless you're exploited or usable, you don't have a place here. Do you remember what I just said a little while ago? This is what happens in a slave-based capitalistic society. See, we don't just live in a capitalistic society. We live in a slave-based capitalistic society. That's what we forget to leave out when we talk about the economics of America. The economics of America was founded with slavery. This is a slave-based economy. Literally, exploit bodies. And that started with Black and Indigenous people and bodies. This is why intersections and intersexuality is important. And this is why critical race theory is important. If we want to look at and really attack the root of ableism, you have to look at what it's rooted in. And it's rooted in white supremacy. It's rooted in slave-based capitalism. This is a lot. And this is going to be probably one of many videos that's going to be unpacking this. As I get deeper into my journey of unpacking my ableism, I'm going to have this public discourse with you, because many of us need to speak to it. We need to look at it, and we need to look at it from the deeper levels, not just from the surface or superficial levels. We need to go deep with this. We need to unpack it at the depths, and we all need to start within ourselves. Me not admitting that I was in pain kept me from getting treated. Me not admitting that I was in pain kept me from really looking at the root issues of why I was in pain. Me not admitting that I was in pain probably helped me to damage myself more. I pushed myself too hard many times. Pushed myself in the wrong way many times. I didn't give myself the adequate care or grace I needed many times because I would not admit that I was in pain. Internalized ableism is wild. And it's something that we all need to unpack on a regular basis. And it's something that we're going to need to unpack for the rest of our lives. This is not a one and done thing. This is not a, oh, look, I've admitted I'm ableist. There's me being ableist. Now that's all done and eradicated and I'm fixed. That's not how this works. You will be unpacking this for the rest of your life. Just like if you are an active anti-racist, you will have to attack that every single day for the rest of your life. You will have to unpack your anti-blackness. Newsflash, we're all anti-black. You will have to unpack your fat phobia. Newsflash, we're all fat phobic. You will have to unpack your ableism. Newsflash, we're all ableist. And here's the crazy part. Even black people are anti-black. Even fat people are fat phobic. Even disabled people are ableist. We're all. That's the thing. Homophobia, transphobia, these are all key components to white supremacy and slave-based capitalism. And it's something that if we want to be good people, if we want to rebuild the village, if we want to help, we have to do these things and attack these things internally. We can point a lot of fingers, and I do point fingers, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm a Libra. And y'all, I be going off my rants. Y'all see it. But I'm pointing that finger at myself too. Please know this. I'm calling you out on your ableism, and I'm calling myself out. I'm calling you out on your anti-blackness, I'm calling myself out. I'm calling you out on your transphobia, I'm calling myself out. Because no one's above it. Because no one's above it. The main reason why I wanted to do this video is because I want you to see in real time that this is what good leaders do. This is what good gurus do. And that nobody is perfect. It's interesting. I am so quick to check my ableism when it is being projected at others. And I'm so open when people tell me that I'm being ableist. And I work to correct it. But Lord, when it comes to how I project my internalized ableism at me, whoo child, I obviously got a lot to learn. It's hard. And that's okay. And that's okay. So, this is where I'm at. Moving forward, I'm going to continue to go to the gym. I'm going to continue to work with my doctors. I'm going to continue to work with my healers because you know, Western medicine is good for some things. It's not good for a lot, but it's good for some things. So I'm going to continue to work with doctors. I'm going to continue to work with my healers. I'm going to continue to work with myself. I'm going to continue to work with my spirits and my ancestors to address these things, to live a good quality, as good of a quality of life that I can possibly live, and to address the pain. One of the most revolutionary things that I can do for my lineage is address the pain and take care of my body. You know, my paternal grandmother, when she entered into the ancestral realm, her physical body was well spent. This society drained her of everything. My maternal grandmother is still on this side of the world, and she's well spent. The society has drained her. One of the best things that I can do is take care of myself. One of the best things that I can do is love myself. One of the best things that I can do is uplift myself. One of the best things I can do is just pour love into this physical body. The transatlantic slave trade, the Black Ma'afa, was not all of Black history and is not all of Black history. It's a recent part that did a lot of damage. And it's something that we all have to unpack if we all want to advance the societies that we have globally. Because that is a big reason and a big justification that is being used to dehumanize everyone. When you humanize the Black body and Black people, you're going to humanize everyone else. If you made it to the end of this video, gold star for you. Thank you for your time and attention. This was a doozy. This was a heavy one. This was a personal one. And I appreciate the fact that you opened up and you gave me your time and your attention, okay? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let me know if you've encountered your own internalized ableism and what that process was like for you. I feel like I'm kind of ending this video a little incomplete, but that's because internalized ableism is going to be is lifelong work. It's lifelong work. It's work I've been doing for the past 15 years of my life, and it's work that I'm going to continue to do until my last breath. So of course there will be other videos where I'm addressing this, where I'm unpacking it, where I'm attacking it, and that's where it is. That's where it is. Because sometimes, you know, we live in a world that like has taught us, because of sitcoms, things just get solved. They get solved in 30 minutes or an hour. We get the solution and we're one and done. And that's oftentimes not life, okay? There are many things you're just going to keep rehashing, you're going to keep attacking, and you're going to get better and better and better with those things. But it doesn't mean that you still won't have things to improve on or things to heal from. So really that's the point of this video. This is ongoing work. It's ongoing work, and yes, I have a plan moving forward, and yes, I will continue to unpack this. Yes, I will continue to look at it, and that's the point. If you're doing anti-racism work, you're not done. You will never reach a point where you're like the best anti-racist. If you're working on your homophobia, if you're working on transphobia, which we all should, hello, these are key components to white supremacy that have been indoctrinated subtly and overtly within all of us. If you're working on that, if you're working on being a better person, the point is you're gonna have to work on it forever, because we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And indoctrination goes deep, all right? So keep working on it. Keep working on it. Be it anti-racism work, if you're working on your fat phobia, keep working on it. And when you run into these things within yourself, when you run into it within yourself, and you are looking at how it's damaged you, not just other people, sit with that and dissect it. Because it's only going to help you heal. It's only going to help you be a better person for yourself and for others. All right, I don't want to take up all of your time. I did want to take up a significant amount of your time. And I did that. You know, with all my videos, I try to put like, okay, I'm trying to film it for 10 minutes. Let's make this a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video, 20-minute video. When I was writing the treatment for this video, when it came to time, I was question mark. I don't know. I know exactly what I'm about to say, but I don't know. So I meant to take up a significant amount of your time, and I've done that. Thank you. I appreciate you. Share this video with whoever you need to share it with. And on that note, just in case no one has told you today, you are wonderful. I want you to remember that we are all hot messes. Yes, my dear, you are a hot, stinking mess. And so am I. And I am a priceless, unique, masterpiece work of art, and so are you. Just keep swimming, honey. Just keep swimming. Those things don't cancel out each other, okay? Okay. Well, you know what to do. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling any of this, if you're feeling any of me, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notifications bell so you can keep up with all of my shenanigans and happenings and all that's going on and things. Now, I'm gonna let you go. You go ahead and have you a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, a good middle of the night, a good whenever you encounter this. Have a good minute, a good moment, a good hour, a good week, a good year, a good decade, a good life. And I appreciate you. That's all you need to know. God, Goddess, Creator, Loa, Orisha, Divine Guide, Spirit Animals, Guardian Angels willing, I'm going to see all of you in the next video. I love you. I live you. Thank you. Peace.